Hey, I'm Sophie and welcome to this full week of home workouts. It's a 4-day split based on my brand new 12-week transformation workout program. I'll pop the link for that in the description, but it was written for the gym and it comes with 3 alternative exercises for each programmed exercise. I'm going to give you the home workout alternative here. So if you don't have access to a gym right now, this is going to be an amazing 4-week split to help you actually start getting results. All the workouts use minimal equipment just to keep things super simple. So we've got 1 pair of dumbbells and a couple of bands. But if you don't have those to hand right now, then you can use stuff like water bottles for the dumbbells, and if not, then I'll drop the Amazon links in the description so you can go grab them. All of the workouts this week are full body workouts, but we've got a different focus on each day. So we've got 1 push day focus, 1 pull day, 1 leg day, and then an arms and core. This is because to really make these workouts effective and get the most out of the work that we're putting in, we need to make sure that we're hitting the same muscle group multiple times per week. That means we're going to be creating that stimulus for muscle growth at multiple points throughout the week, so it's going to get you better results. But if you do have access to a gym and you want to try out a different 4-day split, then I've actually got another video on a full week of workouts, which I'll pop up there now. But to get the most out of any training split, we've got to make sure that we're putting in the intensity. So push it hard this week, guys. Let me know how you get on and let's just go smash it. Before we start any of these workouts, it's super important that we warm up. So this could be 5 minutes of light cardio, like going for a walk or a run, and then follow that up with some dynamic stretches. The key with dynamic stretches is you don't want to be holding the stretch for too long. This means that we can get the blood flowing and really warm up our muscles properly for our workouts. I typically do a very similar dynamic stretch routine before all of my workouts, but if I know that that workout's going to be more leg focused, then I'll make sure to include some more leg focused dynamic stretches. Similarly, on upper body day, I make sure to warm up my shoulders especially well, because your shoulders are one of the most flexible joints in your body and they're a lot more susceptible to injury. So use these stretches as a guide, but the main aim of your warm up is to get your muscles warm, get the blood flowing, and get ready for lifting. Okay, so starting the week off with one of my favorite workouts. This is our full body pull focus session. So first we're doing 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of single arm dumbbell row. You want to have a nice straight back here and make sure that you're pulling the dumbbell towards your hip while controlling the weight throughout the movement. We're using a neutral grip here, and I like to use the sofa for stability. Make sure to do the other side as well. Next, we have 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps of dumbbell lateral raises. This is a very humbling exercise, so if you have lighter dumbbells, then you might want to go grab them. You want to have a slight bend in your elbows and think about leading the movement with your shoulders by pushing the weights away from you rather than pulling them upwards. The third exercise is a really good one that you can use to target the glutes or the quads. It's Bulgarian split squats. To find the right foot position, you want to sit with your legs fully out in front of you, then keep your front foot at that distance from the sofa. If you want to target the glutes more, then you can move your front foot further away, but if you want to target the quads more, then you can move your foot closer to the sofa. And again, make sure to do both sides. Next, we have 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of neutral grip chest press. So lying on the floor, you want to bring your elbows down till your upper arms are about 90 degrees to your body. Make sure you're not bouncing off the floor when you get to the bottom, and squeeze your chest when you get to the top. I wasn't sure of the name of the next exercise, but I think it's reverse snow angels. So we're doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. So lying on the floor, you want to think about the movement as trying to get your elbows into your back pockets. It's very similar to the lat pull down movement, and you want to focus especially on that squeeze when you get to the bottom. If you want to grow your back with minimal equipment, then inverted rows are going to be your best friend. This will typically let you lift more weight in your home workouts than you would with just dumbbells, because you're lifting a lot closer to body weight. So make sure you're holding onto a sturdy desk or table, and you can make the movement harder by raising your feet onto a box or something. If you don't have a pull-up bar, this exercise is a really good home option for developing pull-up strength. It's day 2, our push-focused full body session. So we're going to start off with 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of seated shoulder press. Doing this seated puts you in a more stable position so you can focus your efforts on your shoulders as you press. This means we're not going to have as many stabilizer muscles chipping in, and we can really focus on building those bolder shoulders. Next, we've got 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of floor press. This is very similar to the neutral grip press we did on day 1, but this time your palms are facing towards your feet as you press rather than towards your body. Thirdly, we have 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of lat pullovers. This exercise is amazing for getting that stretch on your lats, and an even better alternative is if you were to hang off the side of a bed, because you can get the dumbbell further down behind you and get even more of a stretch. So you want to keep your elbows fairly fixed and focus on moving the dumbbell with your lats. Next, we're going into sumo squats. So we've got 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps here, and you really want to focus on going slow on the way down, a little pause, and then power on the way up. You want to keep your spine neutral throughout the whole movement, and to tire the glutes a bit more, it can be helpful to think about sitting back into your hips on the way down. Next up is overhead tricep extensions. I really like this exercise because the stretch you get on your triceps is pretty much unmatched. This is great for overall tricep development, as it mainly works the long head of the tricep, which makes up about 2/3 of your arm. Going over to the biceps now, we've got 2 sets of 15 to 20 reps of concentration curls. These are especially good for developing that mind to muscle connection because you can actually watch your bicep as you're working it. So really focus on that squeeze at the top and then controlling the weight all the way down. Just as a little side note, this workout split obviously has 3 rest days because it's a 4-day split, so I'd recommend doing them between each of your workouts, just so that your body's got enough time to recover and you get the most out of each session. Day 3, we have leg day. I love leg day, I don't know about you, but first we're starting off with 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps of dumbbell hip thrust. This is where having a heavier pair of dumbbells is going to come in handy because you're going to be able to lift a lot more weight than with your upper body. But again, if you don't have dumbbells to hand, then you can use a band to add that resistance. To get the most out of it, you really want to focus on the squeeze when you get to the top. I've had people describe it to me as trying to keep a coin in between your butt cheeks. And if you prefer, you can always do this movement as a bodyweight exercise. To make these workouts effective, we're really making the most of using different movement patterns. So first off, we started with a hinge movement, and now we're going into a squat movement. So for the front squat, you've got the dumbbells tucked close to your chin and then your feet closer than hip width apart. This is going to be absolutely killer for the quads. The third exercise we've got is 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps of banded hip abductions. We're mainly targeting the gluteus medius with this movement, which is the part on the side of your glute. So keeping it controlled, you can also add a pause at the widest part of the movement. Now we're going into supinated dumbbell rows. So we're doing 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps here. And the movement pattern is pretty similar to the inverted row that we did on day 1. So you're focusing on leading the movement with your elbows and keeping them nice and close into your body throughout the whole movement. This is going to be working your back, but you've also got some bicep activation in there as well. Next, we've got dumbbell floor flies, and you're bringing the dumbbells out to the sides of your body with just a slight bend in your elbows. Also make sure that your shoulders are warmed up pretty well for this one. There are barely any home exercise variations that manage to effectively isolate the quads, but this is the best I've managed to come up with so far. So you're wrapping the band around your front foot and then standing on it or tying it to a chair behind your back foot. This allows you to add resistance to the contraction at the top of the movement when you're working your quads, which is something that you don't really get in other compound leg exercises. But if you find adding the band all a bit much of a faff, then you can just do it bodyweight and really focus on squeezing your quad when you get to the top. And for our last and final workout of the week, we're doing arms and core. So starting off with 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of alternating crossbody hammer curls. We're then going into 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of tricep kickbacks. This is in a different position to the overhead tricep extension, which is pretty good because it means we're going to be working the tricep with a different resistance curve, which is going to be good for targeting the muscles in a slightly different way. Next, we have 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of dumbbell swings. So you're aiming to lead the movement with your hips, and it's sort of like a vertical hip thrust. Next, we have banded lateral raises. These are really good because they're similar to cable lateral raises, and they offer a different resistance curve to when you're doing the dumbbell lateral raises. The benefit of using the band is that we're going to have constant tension on our delts throughout the whole movement, so on the up phase as well as the down phase, whereas when you're using dumbbells, you only have that when you're moving up. If you want to increase the resistance and make it harder, then you can try using a shorter band, but if you want to make it easier, move your hands to the very end so you've got a longer band to work with. This is a really good way to progress this exercise because over time you can gradually move your hands inwards to make a shorter band with more resistance. Finally, we have a little ab circuit, but don't underestimate this because you're really going to be feeling the burn at the end. We're going to repeat the whole circuit 3 times, and for the first exercise, we've got 12 to 15 reps of knee in to V-ups. So you're firstly bringing your knees in towards your chest and then extending your legs and sitting up in a sort of V shape. I like to have my hands on the floor behind me for stability because it helps you focus more on engaging your actual ab muscles. Next, we've got plank step outs. So we're doing another 12 to 15 reps here straight after the previous exercise. So there's no rest between any of the exercises in this circuit. You're keeping your body in a fairly straight line in this elbow plank position while alternating which leg you're stepping out. A good cue to help you engage your core is to think about it as if you're bracing yourself for someone about to punch you in the stomach. Next in the circuit, we have 12 to 15 reps of reverse crunches. To get the best engagement with your abs, I find it helpful to breathe out when your knees are closest to your chest. Also, the slower you control the movement on the way down, the more you're going to get out of it. But this is also going to make it harder, so you might not be able to get as many reps. But this is a good thing because putting in the work is what gets results, and you can progress this over time. So that's the week complete, but if you want to get the best results possible, your diet also has to be on point. So make sure you check out this video next.